Hey guys, my name is Jason with Mount Baker Mining and Metals, and today we wanted to do another demonstration of our turnkey ore system. This is our 1 ton per hour system, and I want to walk you through the system, and then we can take a look at some of the ore we're going to be running, and then we'll fire up the system and see what we get. So it starts here with this jaw crusher module, and the ore will be dumped into the hopper here. The hopper vibrates down and feeds this 8x12 jaw crusher, which crushes it down to about 1 inch or 3/4 inch minus. It discharges down onto this conveyor behind me, brings the material crushed up into this fine ore hopper. The fine ore hopper is really a holding bin, but it also allows us to meter the feed up to the hammer mill very evenly. Underneath, there's a feeder that you can adjust the rate of feed, which meters the feed onto this conveyor up into this 16x12 hammer mill here. This hammer mill right now has 20 chrome hammers in it and a 0.8 millimeter slotted screen, and at this size screen about 70% of the material passes 30 mesh and about 50% passes 50 mesh. We run it wet so it forms a really nice slurry. It'll discharge down here onto our shaker table. This is one of our 4x8 shaker tables rated at 1 ton per hour. The quartz and other gangue material will flow off into the number 4. The heavy dense sulfides and gold will be caught in these grooves, come up under the water bar. Once it reaches up here under the water bar, the water washes the sulfides away that do make it up onto the cleaning plane, leaving a nice clean line of gold that comes down into the number 1 and number 2 concentrates. The shaker table has 2 safety grooves at the bottom that run all the way across, and this will capture anything that doesn't quite make it up into the cleaning plane into the number 1. So the number 1 and number 2 are where most of your values are going to be. There's a number 3 port here that the sulfides will form a band at the end of the grooves, and it will work its way down into the number 3 middlings bucket here. The tailings are set up to flow into a spiral classifier, and the spiral classifier has a little settling basin here. The quartz particles that settle down through that basin are augered out and dewatered into a super sack there that can be either rerun for liberating more gold if there's enough values, or they're dewatered and so they're a lot easier to deal with and it doesn't fill up your tailings pond. Right now we have the spiral classifier set on the finest setting, so somewhere around 150 or 200 mesh material is sent to the final tailings pond. This is a concrete basin we've buried here for our water, and we can recirculate the water through the system continuously, so you don't have to have fresh water to run this system. The shaker table takes between 5 and 7 US gallons a minute to operate, and we add another 1 or 2 US gallons to the hammer mill. So altogether, this whole system runs on less than 10 gallons a minute of water, and again, which can all be recirculated. So let's go take a look at the ore we're going to be running, and then we'll get this thing fired up. So here's some of the ore we're going to be running today, and this is a quartz hydrothermal vein ore. It has free gold and a little bit of sulfides in it, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But we have about 60 buckets of this stuff to run, and we weighed 5 or 6 of them, and it averages about 65 pounds. So we're running somewhere between 3,500 and 4,000 pounds for this sample. But let me show you some of the ore here we're talking about. These streaks you can see here are the sulfides associated with the ore. The main sulfide in this ore is a pyrrhotite, which is an iron sulfide. There's a little bit of pyrite and a little bit of chalcopyrite, but other than that, it's pretty much quartz and a little bit of sulfides, and there's some free gold in here as well.
gold ends up coming out of the top 3 grooves here. There's a little spilling over into the next couple of grooves, and that'll end up coming up out this groove right here. Now we've stopped everything so that we can see the gold and the separation with the other lower specific gravity materials. We've got some real silvery material in there. We're not sure what it is. The gray stuff is probably pyrrhotite. And most of the gold comes out of the top groove. Come across the table. And it just makes a real nice line of gold right down under the water bars and into the trough, number 1 and number 2 high-grade quartz. Now when we're done running a couple 200 or 300 pounds, we've got to brush down the table because the gold hangs in the grooves and we'd be here all afternoon to get it. So we brush it down, and this is really where we get our strong line of gold. A good part of this is just smoke on the table. The big pieces have come down already. They're already down here. These are the bigger pieces from the ore. And then on up here, this is actually fairly coarse here as well. And then we get up here, and this is just very fine smoke. Call it micron gold, call it flour gold. When we screen this, a good part of this will go through a 325 mesh screen,